In a world overrun by the undead, humanity cowers within fortresses. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕�𝒐𝒏 was just another survivor. Hunted and impaled by a mutated horror, a mysterious voice echoed, "Your journey does not end here." Awakening fully healed, he struck back with godlike power, sending the massive beast soaring with one blow. That chilling voice returned, as his body began to move with a primal, uncontrollable hunger for power. He instinctively devoured the monster to evolve, growing lethal claws as his physical stats skyrocketed instantly. After obliterating a sneak attacker, his hand reverted, leaving 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 stunned by his terrifying potential. His best friend, 𝒕𝒂𝒏, was trembling in the locker room, certain that death had finally arrived. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 saved him just as the military arrived, ending this lethal survival drill at last. In this cruel era, only the strongest thrive. This exercise was a desperate gamble for status and survival. Now, the Student Council has forced 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏's squad into a hellish 24-hour wasteland mission. 5 students were cast into the dead zone aboard an armored bus to retrieve vital, life-sustaining supplies. A bald thug tried to seize command, but the deadly 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒏 quickly put him in his place. Suddenly, a zombie lunged at 𝒕𝒂𝒏. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 moved like a shadow, saving his friend instantly. While the coward froze, 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒏 dispatched the threat with elegant precision. She was as beautiful as lethal. Finding discarded rations meant a supermarket was near. But 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 sensed a soul-chilling danger lurking. He warned the group to flee, but it was too late. The earth trembled violently beneath them. A colossal mutated zombie erupted from the depths, a titan of infection ready to crush everything in sight. This titan was sheer destruction. Everyone scrambled to escape as the monster began its devastating, bloody rampage. They dashed for a nearby bus, but the titan snatched 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒏 and hurled her into the distance. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒏 wouldn't abandon her. He ordered the others to safety while he played the lone hero. He tracked the behemoth through the ruins, waiting like a predator for the perfect moment to strike. There, as the monster lowered its guard, 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒏 lunged forward with explosive superhuman speed. But the beast caught him, delivering a punch that sent him crashing through concrete like a ragdoll. Any normal man would be dead, but his mutated body thrived under the impact, fueled by evolution. The real battle began. Utilizing his agility, 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒏 danced around the titan's strikes with effortless grace. With a single, fatal slash of his claws, he brought the mountain of flesh crashing to the earth. Curiously, the beast hadn't eaten 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒏. Did this horror possess a twisted eye for human beauty? When the group caught up, they were speechless. How could one man defeat such a legendary nightmare? Is he using a cheat code? They wondered, terrified and amazed by his sudden, overwhelming growth. Suddenly, a haunting wail echoed from the parking lot. Searching for survivors, they found the store entrance. A newborn zombie emerged, a rare, terrifying mutation that sent a shiver down everyone's spine. The greedy, bald student plotted to capture it for points, oblivious to the true danger lurking above. But the creature ignored them, weeping as it crawled toward the corpse of the fallen giant zombie. Could even monsters feel the bond of family? The scene was a haunting anomaly in this cruel world. Blinded by greed, the bald man ignored all warnings and lunged forward to claim his prize. As the infant's cries grew louder, a swarm of black omens blotted out the sky above them. A winged nightmare with obsidian horns descended. The mother had arrived to claim her child's bloody vengeance. Greed met a swift end as the mother tore the student apart before he could even scream. "Everyone, retreat now." 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 stayed behind, holding the line so the others could escape safely. He underestimated her power. The mother smashed the barricade, sending 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒏 into a dark abyss. In the darkness, the mysterious voice returned. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒏, wake up. Embrace your true, godlike destiny. A shadowy figure offered him ultimate power, the ability to devour any mutation and become the world's god. "Surrender to your primal instincts," the voice whispered, "and you shall reign supreme over this dying world." 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒏's eyes snapped open as the mother raised him high. This time, his aura was different. His claws erupted with devastating force, shredding her arm with one strike. The predator had finally awakened. With primal ferocity, he sank his teeth into the enemy's throat, securing a brutal victory. Even the young undead trembled in terror. Paralyzed by fear, the creature fled into the shadows. Suddenly, 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒏 felt a searing agony rip through his entire spine. Demonic wings erupted from his back, the price of his devour ability evolving. Meanwhile, 𝒕𝒂𝒏's squad ventured deep into the building. While pausing to rest, The blonde guy foolishly flipped the light switch. Suddenly, a hidden supermarket appeared right before their eyes. Greed took over as they lunged for the supplies. It was a jackpot. They found delicious food and completed the mission, but the celebration died instantly. Below them, a sea of shadows stirred. The light had summoned a nightmare of starving zombies. A tide of corpses surged forward. Luckily, Tren Mun regained consciousness just in time to intercept the first wave of monsters. She screamed for them to climb, but the clumsy Tio Min lacked the agility to escape the reaching, rotting claws. One slip, and his life flashed before his eyes. Tren Mun caught him, but his massive weight was becoming a death sentence. His panicked screams sealed their fate. Gravity won, dragging them both down into the hungry, rotting abyss of the undead. Death seemed certain until a cart smashed through the darkness. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕🐬 had arrived like a vengeful god of war to rescue them. The impact was absolute carnage. Zombies were sent flying as Tio Min wept with joy at his best friend's heroic return. He truly thought he'd be a ghost by now. There was no time for tears. They had to vanish from this hellhole. The horde was regaining its footing. 𝒖𝒕💂💬 ordered them onto the cart, preparing to push them through the meat grinder. With no other choice, they braced themselves. Let's go! The acceleration was insane. A literal high-speed roller coaster of life and death. The pressure was too much. A button snapped right off Tren Mun's outfit, leaving her flustered by the sudden, explosive wardrobe malfunction. They finally reached the safety of the subway, though their hard-earned supplies were lost. Tren Mun insisted on a dangerous solo task. Her decision left everyone baffled. Suddenly, a group emerged from the gloom, led by a white-haired man with a chilling smile. "Welcome to the endless plains. Wait. This is the Subway Union." He claimed they had already salvaged the supermarket supplies. It was an invitation they couldn't refuse. He insisted they rest after their harrowing journey through the dark, zombie-infested tunnels. Introducing himself as 𝒖𝒕🂂💏, the manager of this lair. His subordinates bowed with eerie, military-like precision and hidden intent. He offered to share the spoils, even promising a grand BBQ feast. A hot meal in this wasteland? Too good to be true. His hospitality felt like a gilded cage. To most, he was a saint. To the main character, he was a predator. Then, the entertainment began. A group of men moved in sync, but the atmosphere felt heavy, macabre, and deeply unsettling. 6 men carried a dark container like a funeral procession straight out of a viral meme. Tren Mun sensed something was wrong. While the others ate, Tren Mun demanded to see the warehouse. 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 followed to protect her from any hidden traps. As they walked, 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 questioned her true motives. Why was she so desperate to go outside during this apocalypse? The truth came out: her sister had vanished near the supermarket. The lone survivors said she disappeared into thin air there. Their suspicions grew as they saw blood-stained personal items. Back at the banquet, 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 was serving his specialty. Roasted pig, he called it. But the charred remains on the platter were undeniably, horrifyingly human. The group was paralyzed. Deep in the shadows, Tren Mun found a locked door. The stench of rotting flesh was absolutely overwhelming as she entered. Inside was a graveyard of mutations. The sight triggered 𝒖𝒕🂂💏's primal hunger, causing his demonic form to surface uncontrollably. He had to hide his monstrous side before she noticed. Meanwhile, Tio Min and the others were terrified by the cannibals' feast. They tried to flee, but the coffin bearers blocked every exit, their eyes cold and murderous. They were trapped in a nightmare. Tren Mun struck first, a blade at 𝒖𝒕🂂💏's throat. But the old fox was faster than he looked, countering instantly. She landed a devastating kick, yet she was outnumbered. A coward's blow from behind sent her spiraling into total darkness. She collapsed. The old man sneered, ordering his butchers to prepare the fat one for the next greasy, oil-fried course. The skinny one was next. Their pathetic pleas for mercy only fueled the cult's sick laughter as they called for help. He turned his lustful gaze toward the unconscious Tren Mun. Suddenly, the world plunged into total, suffocating darkness without warning. A new predator had entered the room. A terrifying shadow energy filled the air, moving faster than the human eye could follow. In a heartbeat, the guards were shredded. Claws like razors had turned the hunters into prey. The massacre had just begun. 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 was a phantom of death. Panicked, 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 unleashed a flamethrower, burning his own men in a desperate frenzy. The searing heat singed 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 slightly, but the monster within him didn't flinch. Then, a grenade hissed through the air. They thought they were hunters, but 𝒖𝒕🂂💏's blinding speed turned them into prey. One by one, They fell before his absolute power. The villain torched his own subordinates, barely scratching 𝒖��𝒕🊕. Suddenly, a lethal bomb was launched directly at our hero's face. Nowhere to hide. A thunderous blast levels the room as the wounded 𝒖��𝒕🊕 recklessly charges forward. It was a trap. He falls into the abyss while the explosion tears a gaping hole into 𝒖𝒕🂕's chamber. They prioritize saving Trun Mun before returning for 𝒖��𝒕🊕. Suddenly, two high-ranking bandits intercept their path. The bandit leaders, 𝒖�🂕 and 𝒂𒒐💂💐, arrive. They've heard rumors of a mutant named 𝒖��𝒕🊕. Eavesdropping nearby, 𝒖��𝒕🊕 transforms into a nimble squirrel form to evade detection while gathering vital intel. The bandit leader consumes a serum, his muscles bulging with monstrous power before finally sensing 𝒖��𝒕🊕's presence. A devastating punch misses by a hair. 𝒖��𝒕🊕 dodges death's grip, facing an enemy with terrifying explosive strength. This monster isn't just fast. He manipulates flames for long-range destruction. He mocks 𝒖�🂕 with a sinister grin. I'll break your spirit first, then I'll toy with your friends, especially that beautiful girl waiting for you. Threatening his friends was a fatal mistake. 𝒖�🂕's killing intent explodes, his speed reaching godlike levels instantly. He vanishes, reappearing behind the bandit for a swift execution. Suddenly, the female leader Tam Duongya appears. Smitten by his looks, she flirts before revealing her mutant form. 𝒖�🂕 is suddenly plunged into a nightmare. Trapped in an illusion of endless crows, his body feels fractured. But such petty tricks won't stop a predator. One strike shatters the dream. Devouring that fat mutant earlier granted him immense power and glowing green markings. This brat is a monster. She gasps before 𝒖�🂕 mercilessly sends her to the afterlife with one blow. Suddenly, a rocket streaks toward him. A white-haired elder unleashes a massive explosion, burying 𝒖🕕🂕 in flames. From the inferno, a swarm of black crows erupts. They swarm the enemy with a searing, soul-burning heat. The elder's flamethrower is useless now. 𝒖🕕🂕 has evolved, his body refined by the powers he recently consumed. Fire cannot touch him. He lunges through the heat, seizing the old man's throat in a cold, lethal grip. Like a demon from hell, his presence sends the remaining thugs fleeing in absolute terror for their lives. Nearby, a mysterious palanquin carried by 4 men arrives. The aura within radiates pure, overwhelming authority and dread. The big boss wonders why his subordinates haven't returned. He releases a terrifying 3-headed hound to investigate. Meanwhile, 𝒖𝒕🂕's team successfully extracts Trun Mun, but the mission is far from over in this hellhole. Distracted by her beauty, they are caught off guard as the monstrous 3-headed dogs corner them like prey. They scramble to hide, hoping the beast's senses are dull. But the predators are already breathing down their necks. The blonde youth faints from pure terror. Just as the jaws close, 𝒖🕕🂕 descends like a vengeful god. He crushes the hounds instantly, but his eyes glow with madness. The urge to devour everything consumes his mind. 𝒖𝒕🂕's cries fall on deaf ears. Suddenly, the white-haired butler from the palanquin blocks 𝒖�🂕's path. This old man is a master mutant. 𝒖�🂕 lunges instinctively, but his primal rage meets a stone wall. Despite his incredible speed, 𝒖𝒕🂕 is swatted away like a fly. This opponent's power is on another level. As 𝒖𝒕🂕 regains his senses, a beautiful young girl steps from the palanquin, radiating a chilling, divine pressure. With a delicate touch, she effortlessly tears the wings from his back. 𝒖𝒕🂕's agonizing scream pierces the night. He wakes up in a cold, unfamiliar cell. They've been captured by the Long Ho bandits and stripped of hope. 𝒖𝒕🂕 reveals that he knew about the mutation. If only he'd spoken sooner, he could have built power-amplifying gear. 𝒖𝒕🂕 starts bragging about his genius. He once studied top-secret research papers regarding the evolution of mutants. I read those experiments back at school. I knew your potential the moment I saw your unique combat patterns. My perfect memory and tactical mind are my greatest weapons. Once I see something, it's etched in my brain. But now, we're just prisoners. Without tools or materials, my genius is useless behind these cold iron bars. Wait, look around. 𝒖𝒕🂕 finds scrap metal and waste. In a flash, he constructs a legendary mechanical device. This is the Bio-Optimizer. It can extract excess mutant genes to permanently evolve and strengthen your primary skills. It also acts as a stabilizer, preventing you from losing your humanity when the hunger to devour takes over. My analysis shows 3 mutant paths: the physical, the infectious, and the wild. Each has its own terrifying strengths. Physical types boast unmatched strength. Infectious types rot their enemies from within. using corrupting, parasitic mutant energies. Wild types embrace their beastly instincts to transform. By calibrating this machine, we can unlock your true hidden potential. Let's scan your genetic code. We'll use every scrap of excess DNA to forge you into an unstoppable war machine. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕💊💐 eyed the rare mutant genes, seeking a power that would grant him ultimate evolution. Choosing claws was tempting, but infinite growth required a reinforced body to endure the coming battles. Agony surged like lightning as the strengthening began, his screams echoing through the silent, dark facility. Testing his newfound strength, one light kick sent a massive steel door flying like a leaf. Nearby, two vile thugs cornered a defenseless girl, their predatory eyes filled with disgusting, twisted intentions. As they lunged, a devastating shadow appeared, sending them crashing back with a single, bone-shattering kick. It was 𝒖𝒕🂂💏. Trần Mun looked on in awe as he quickly freed her from the bindings. Suddenly, a menacing elder from the Dragon Tiger camp emerged, blocking their only path to freedom today. With supersonic speed, 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 launched a punch that threatened to shatter the very air itself. "Is that all?" he mocked, as the old man roared, unleashing a wave of suffocating killing intent. Their collision shook the earth, while the elder swung a 1,000-year iron ball with murderous malice. But the legendary iron shattered like glass. 𝒖𝒕🂂💏's fist had become a weapon of pure destruction. Bones snapped as the elder took the hit, and desperate thugs rushed in to save their leader. "You'll regret this humiliation," the old man screamed, his face twisting into a demonic, vengeful mask. Activating his hellish iron technique, his energy exploded, hardening his skin into an impenetrable steel fortress. His defense seemed absolute, yet 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 moved before the elder could even process his next breath. A lightning-fast kick struck the neck, instantly cracking the elder's 1,000-year iron defense with overwhelming force. Realizing he was outmatched, the elder ordered his mutant hounds forward while 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 provided backup. This allowed 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 to focus his fury, vanishing and reappearing instantly before his terrified target. He sent the elder flying directly into a swarm of ravenous three-headed mutant hellhounds lurking nearby. "You're dead!" The elder laughed. "These dogs are trained to hunt mutated monsters exactly like you." 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 smirked and bit the old man, devouring his essence to mask his own human scent. Chaos erupted as the hounds turned on their master, just as a mysterious lowly girl appeared. "Join my collection," she purred, dragging a brainwashed blonde warrior behind her like a common dog. Her eyes glowed with a terrifying Talon aura, revealing she was a monster in a cute disguise. To her shock, her mental chains failed. 𝒖𝒕🂂💏's willpower was an impenetrable fortress against her magic. The blonde puppet attacked with lightning, forcing 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 to dodge lethal electric shocks at high speeds. A massive explosion signaled that help had arrived as 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 and Trần Mun joined the fray. The lowly unleashed her second pet, a female mutant whose speed and power transcended all human limits. Trần Mun froze in horror, realizing this new, heartless enemy was actually her own long-lost older sister. 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 collapsed, his mana drained, and his body reaching its absolute breaking point in this battle. He tapped into a hidden ferret form, desperately healing his internal injuries to stay in the fight. The sister moved like a lethal shadow, overpowering everyone with her cold and ruthless mutant speed. 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 tried a desperate grappling maneuver, but her strength was far beyond any normal human capability. Noticing a parasite on her neck, one precise sword strike shattered the bond of the lowly's control. Meanwhile, 𝒖𝒕🂂💏's relentless fire finally brought down the blonde lightning wielder in a blaze of glory. "Rest now, brother," he whispered, hoping his fallen friend would find peace in the world beyond. The lowly girl retreated in fury, but the danger was far from over for the exhausted group. "You must leave," the sister urged, her life force fading as the master's control was severed. Knowing her time was short, meeting Trần Mun one last time was her only final, bittersweet solace. As the school bus arrived, the four survivors struggled towards safety, leaving the nightmare behind them. Suddenly, a three-headed beast lunged from the shadows, tearing into the sister with feral, hungry rage. A cold blade instantly ended the monster. The savior was the mysterious and powerful Trần Doan. She turned to 𝒖𝒕🂂💏, her eyes sharp. "Are you truly human, or just another hiding monster? In this dying world, normal humans don't survive such horrors." The secret of the mutant was out. How could he have survived this long? I don't even know how to explain it. What now? If the truth is revealed, the Academy will expel me. Even 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 and Trần Mun will suffer. Suddenly, 𝒖𝒕🂂💏 spoke up to save him. My brother 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 practiced military martial arts. Normal zombies can't touch him. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 scoffed, thinking they'd never buy such a lie. But surprisingly, she agreed to trust him just this once. Don't thank me. The academy is obligated to protect students during their dangerous external missions. Trần Mun screamed in fury. If this school actually protected people, my sister wouldn't be dead today. The school promised protection, and they will honor it. They should have provided signal flares before you departed. Just fire a signal flare during an emergency. The rescue team will be deployed immediately to your location. Teo Min whispered that Curly Da gave them nothing. She only told them to go gather points. Yet, Duan Hai only tracked them down after seeing their signal flare. This whole situation smells incredibly fishy. Suddenly, a lowly girl appeared. She holds immense power here. Even the student council bows to her whims. Her twisted goal is to turn 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 into her loyal pet. Truly disgusting. Later, the duo met Curly Da. They expected a confrontation, but she surprised them. You both did an excellent job out there, she said. We discovered numerous mutant corpses where you retreated. They are priceless for our biological research department. You've earned 1,000 contribution points. Plus, here's an invitation to tomorrow night's Elite Academy Gala. Teo Min was ecstatic. We're going to be legends. We will have girls chasing us left and right, brother. This gala is the peak of school society. It's a prestigious event, held only once every single year. All the heavy hitters from the student council will be there. Ordinary students wouldn't dream of getting in. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 felt a sense of dread. However, his chubby friend was already lost in the excitement. Those mutant corpses are vital research data. I heard the school is developing weapons using zombie toxins. They're studying biochemical warfare. Some of those people out there might actually be hidden mutants like us. Don't tell a soul about my mutant abilities. The next day, Teo Min dressed up like a flamboyant groom. He was clearly ready to flex. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 laughed, though he himself looked impressively sharp for the occasion. Suddenly, a breathtaking beauty appeared behind them. It was none other than the gorgeous Trần Mun herself. The boys were stunned. She looked absolutely divine. Like them, she received a special student council invitation. Only those with legendary achievements were invited tonight. Suddenly, Trần Mun leaned in close to 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏. He blushed instantly. She sensed a strange vibe in the room. Then, a blonde jerk tried to flirt. He bragged that no one rejects him here. But 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 wasn't having it. Weak and arrogant? Get lost! The jerk tried to strike. But a mysterious man in black intervened. It was the terrifying DM Key. He immediately knelt in terror. Forgive me, Great One. I didn't realize you had already arrived. Please, let's not ruin the mood. You are all my honored guests. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 watched her with deep suspicion. Teo Min whispered that she's DM Key. She's one of the 12 elite directors of the student council. Welcome to the gala, everyone. Our academy has recently achieved a breakthrough in biological mutation experiments. I'm sure you've heard the rumors of legendary mutants. We have finally seen the first signs of success. You are the true prodigies of this academy. Only those in this room can prove human superiority. We will prove that human strength can conquer any mutation. Suddenly, a student's arm began to monstrously deform. The mutated arm swung wildly, striking down a guest. Panic erupted as a horde of zombies was unleashed. Chaos consumed the hall. As 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 tried to calm the crowd, a zombie lunged from the shadows. Trần Mun moved like lightning, decapitating the beast. But these monsters were different. They kept regenerating instantly. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 leaped forward, crushing its skull with a single blow. Only then did the monster finally die. Survivors tried to flee, but a blonde girl opened fire. That arrogant blonde jerk started screaming for help. He offered 5,000 points for bodyguards. For that kind of reward, people were willing to die. A mutant lunged at him, but 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 intervened just in time. The coward still tried to act tough. He claimed he was about to strike before 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 stole his kill. Then, a white-haired man entered. I hope you enjoyed that little appetizer. A bowl-cut expert stepped forward to challenge the newcomer. Blood sprayed as he claimed his first victim. The crowd surged forward, but his hidden power erupted. A monstrous fire dragon emerged from the flames. This mutant's level was beyond anything they'd imagined. They were trapped in his inferno. The fat man trembled, paralyzed by the chilling scent of death. The monster turned his hungry gaze toward Trần Mun. Such beauty was a rare find in this hellscape. She's mine now, he roared. But 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 wouldn't let anyone touch his woman without paying in blood. Recognizing a fellow mutant, the beast lunged. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 took a devastating hit, sent crashing through stone. Seeing her worry for him fueled the beast's jealousy. He lunged at her, claws bared for the kill. Like a lightning strike, 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 intercepted him. He tore the dragon's arm clean off, forcing a transformation. The villain's flesh warped, birthing a horrific clone. Panic rose. Was this the power of a high-tier mutant? Born from the essence of the undead, mutants are rare. But those who evolve further become nightmares incarnate. Beyond the standard lies the high-tier evolution. Strength that defies logic and shatters ordinary human limits. Legends speak of the nightmare and Hades' tears. Levels where a mutant truly transcends the mortal coil. At the peak, they are nothing less than gods. Fire and dragon scales clashed against 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏's relentless defense. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 unleashed his corrosive venom, melting through armor. The beast shrieked, its body paralyzed by the toxic bite. With one brutal kick, he sent the monster eating dirt. The beast spat a desperate sea of flames to incinerate him. As the smoke cleared, the world went silent. Massive dragon wings unfurled from 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏, mocking the useless flames. His glowing red eyes struck terror into the villain's soul. No matter the fire poured out, 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 remained untouched. The death angel had finally descended upon the battlefield. A tear so high, it felt like the heavens were falling. With a single burst of aura, the white-haired freak was crushed. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 had become a whirlwind of pure, primal violence. The bloodlust was deafening, a roar for more slaughter. His friends called out, but he was lost to the hunger. A voice whispered, "Be the god of this new world. Trust only in your hunger and your evolving strength. Kill them all!" The darkness urged. Suddenly, the villain's hand pierced through 𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏's chest. "You forgot the golden rule. Always confirm the kill." Even as consciousness faded, she believed he wasn't a monster. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏's rage exploded. A shockwave leveled the area. His power surged past its limits in a blinding flash. The villain laughed, claiming death only made him stronger. Then 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏's blade sang, severing the monster's arm instantly. A mysterious fox-masked girl struck, knocking 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 unconscious. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 quickly moved him, following her silent command. 1 week later, they were hiding in the slums. If we knew the party was a trap, we never would have gone. Now, they were outcasts, hunted by the very school they served. The slums were their only refuge from the council's reach. The student council had put a massive price on their heads. Why were they being hunted like common criminals? Even that thug Lu Meng was hiding out with them. The fat man used his connections to secure this hideout. But could they trust a snake like him? Suddenly, Lu Meng knelt, trembling before 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏's presence. "Great angel, please. I'll be your most loyal dog." He believed 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 was the legendary angel of death. The legend began years ago with a bloody massacre. The strongest warriors of the council were slaughtered in one night. Witnesses claimed a winged monster did the impossible. It was a shadow that haunted the elite's nightmares. From those ashes, the myth of the death angel grew. Now Lu Meng saw that same terrifying power in 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏. He's useful, they decided, letting the thug join them. In exchange for protection, he brought news of their enemy. The white-haired freak from the banquet was named 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏, a disgraced council member obsessed with forbidden human evolution. Kicked out for his twisted experiments on the dying, he had turned his exile into a quest for monstrous power. Now a mutant leader, he used the plague to build an army, creating monsters within the school to serve his dark will. Why the school authorities allowed this remained a dark mystery. Regardless, 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 had a blood debt to settle for 𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏. And then there was the fox-masked girl. Who was she? Meanwhile, in a high-rise office, another predator was moving. A girl in a crow mask issued a lethal ultimatum. Find 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 in 7 days, or become the next experiment. Her cold voice echoed, promising death to any who failed. The hunt for the Death Angel was reaching a fever pitch. Back at the hideout, Lu Meng arrived with crucial supplies. Food, tech, and everything needed to survive the coming war. 𝒕𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒏 began upgrading their gear for the next evolution. But outside, the slum dwellers were closing in on them. They call themselves the Demon Society, once Academy elites. Now broken outcasts hiding in the shadows after a brutal purge. Forced into the slums, they survived as bottom feeders until a wolf-faced thug stepped forth, claiming the gang's supreme throne. "Pay up," he snarled. 50,000 credits for protection if you trade here. 50,000? That's just daylight robbery. Why not just rob us directly? The thug smirked, claiming it was a legitimate fee to maintain the slum's supposed security. "How dare you call it a heist?" he barked. "Protection for a trade? We weren't even dealing anything. His logic was predatory. I heard every word. A cold voice rang out. This brat was bartering scrap for a night with that boy. 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕🊕 stepped forward, his gaze sharp. Though he looked humble, his spirit was a true warrior's. Stop your pathetic lies. If you want to trade, let's trade lives, 𝒖𝒕𝒂𝒕🊕 declared. From today, the Demon Society's throne belongs to me. The wolf leader lunged in a frenzy, but his speed was laughable. 𝒖𝒕🊕 delivered a bone-shattering strike that silenced the room. A hulking brute then transformed into a half-beast monstrosity, fueled by a forbidden berserk potion. This was a true slaughter. The mutant charged, but 𝒖𝒕🊕's counter was absolute. One punch sent the beast spiraling, leaving the crowd paralyzed with fear. The wolf leader surrendered his title instantly. But shadows loomed. The student council pulled the strings of the no-boundary faction. We must unite to crush them, 𝒖𝒕🊕 ordered. Stripped of his mask, the former leader was surprisingly young and desperate. 𝒖𝒕🊕 appointed him as a deputy, bringing the boy to tears. Then, his voice boomed through the desolate slum streets. The Demon Society will no longer hide in these gutters. He pointed toward the city skyline. Tonight, we march to victory. We shall become its masters. Meanwhile, the Foxy 𝒖𝒂𝒕🊕 reported the chaos, but the director met her with indifference. He ignored the warning entirely. On her way back, 𝒖𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 crossed paths with Director Yan and the resurrected Trun Mun. She wasn't dead, but a mindless puppet. It turns out Director Yan had been secretly collaborating with the No Boundary faction. Forbidden experiments on Subject 009 were just the beginning. The plan was more twisted than 𝒖𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 could ever imagine. Little did she know, the entire student council and the board of directors were all complicit in this horrific game. The chief administrator believed that harnessing mutant power was the only way to absolute dominion over the Academy's crumbling remains. Zombies aren't our only threat, they argued. We need biological weapons to ensure our survival and total control of this world. Targeting 𝒖𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 was the chief's strategic move. Director Yan was merely seeking the perfect form to present to her master. Don't you see? With this power, we can finally rebuild human civilization from the ashes of this dying, broken world. The battle erupted. The resurrected Trun Mun unleashed destructive power far beyond her human limits, overwhelming everything in her path. 𝒖𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 struggled to parry the strikes. A blade sliced through her armor, marking the start of a desperate struggle. She tried to bypass the puppet to reach Director Yan, but a crushing blow sent her reeling across the battlefield. A violent collision sent both girls plunging into the slum waters. Nearby, little 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒑 was caught tinkering with something mysterious. Coast! He screamed when 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒑 appeared. The boy spent 8 hours crafting a level 2000 optimized lifeform, a true marvel. The holographic projection flickered. The Grandmaster system was evolving, fusing with the wild form and the Bone Dragon's primal essence. 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒑 felt the power surge. Suddenly, a scout rushed in. My lord, we found 2 beauties floating in the river. They looked like elite student council members. Outside, the thugs were celebrating wildly. They hadn't seen women this stunning in years. To 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒑's shock, the 2 unconscious girls were none other than 𝒖𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒑 and Trun Mun. His heart nearly stopped. Blood pooled from their severe wounds. A greedy underling muttered, Boss, can we keep them? He didn't even finish speaking. A heavy fist silenced him instantly. Touch them and you die, 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒑 growled, his eyes blazing with protective fury. He examined the wounds. These weren't normal. They were caused by a massive, blunt weapon, something no ordinary human could wield. In these squalid conditions, medical supplies were non-existent. He could only patch the surface and pray for their survival. Rage bubbled within him. I'll butcher whoever did this, he vowed, turning to Liu Mang to find professional medical gear. It's nearly impossible, Liu Mang whispered. While standard gear costs credits, the Student Council has a stranglehold on medicine. They control the Academy's lifeblood. Obtaining meds legally is a pipe dream unless we choose the path of blood and war. Then we raid them, a thug suggested. But 𝒖𝒕𝒊𝒑 stopped him. Attacking the council now was a suicide mission. We need a smarter play, he muttered. There was one other option. The West Quinn faction, rulers of the black market. Their territory sat on the Academy's edge, a no-man's land, more ravaged than the slums, where only the strongest and most cunning survived. By ruling this wasteland, they dominated the underground network. Every illegal deal in the Academy flowed through their bloody hands. But their leader, Trần Te Huyen, was a legend of brutality. Crossing him meant dancing with death itself. Would he risk it? Tran Te Huyen was no ordinary leader, commanding elite female disciples. Whispers said his cultivation reached legendary heights. His true depth remained a mystery. Not Fam ordered a black market raid for weapons and rare materials. They spread rumors about Mao Society's secret movements. Liu Meng navigated the shadows of the lawless black market. The bazaar was chaos, filled with dancers and illicit goods. Suddenly, a heavy chair flew at Liu Meng. The attacker was Tran Huyen Te himself. He saw through the act. Liu Meng dropped the facade immediately. He demanded medical supplies and heavy weaponry. To hide his tracks, Liu Meng claimed Tak Thin Bang ties. He feigned victimhood, claiming Mao Society's bullying drove them to desperation. The fake intel made the lie perfect. Deceived by the act, Tran Huyen Te agreed to the sale. Liu Meng's manipulation was a masterclass in deception. A massive convoy of gear was secured. The price? A staggering 5 billion credits, but victory was priceless. Resources can be regained, but the moment for war is now. The pieces of the puzzle were set. Tran Te Huyen gloated over his profit. In this apocalypse, he believed women were the ultimate currency. He planned to buy beauties from the academy with the loot. Then, the Mao Society's assault began. His bodyguards remained calm. They promised Huyen that under their protection, he could sleep without any fear. No enemy could breach their defense, they claimed. Outside, the Mao Society's vanguard launched a brutal offensive. Surrender within 24 hours or die. The Mao Society's ultimatum echoed through the Te-Quin sect's halls. Terror struck. The very weapons Mao Society used were the ones they sold yesterday. It was a trap. Tran Te Huyen finally emerged. He crushed the first attacker with one move, showing his terrifying strength. But the real monster arrived. Not Fam stepped forward, vowing a painful death for hurting his men. "Are you the legendary warrior who leveled Long Ho Camp?" Huyen asked. Finally, a challenge worth getting serious. He drew a blazing crimson blade from a statue. Thousands of phantom swords materialized, raining down on Nat Fam. Was this true cultivation? Nat Fam charged through the storm, shattering the illusion with a single, devastating punch. The phantom blades vanished. It was all a cheap circus trick using hallucinogens to deceive the senses. Dressed in those ridiculous clothes, "You dared touch my people?" Nat Fam growled. The reckoning was here. Suddenly, the Triu sisters appeared. Unlike the fraud Haiyan, these two were genuine cultivators of ancient power. The younger sister unleashed a massive spirit serpent. Not Fam summoned his dragon bone, but something felt wrong. His flames flickered and died. The anesthesia from earlier was draining his combat power at the worst moment. The spirit snake coiled around him, crushing his ribs. Not Fam took a brutal beating, coughing up blood. But the toxic blood's expulsion reignited his core. Two serpents lunged for his throat, but he caught them. Corrosive flames erupted, burning the sister alive. Only her white-clothed siblings' desperate intervention saved her life. "Now you face a real warrior," the elder sister warned. "I am no amateur, don't underestimate my blade." In a flash, she severed Not Fam's hand. The metallic scent of his own blood triggered something primal. The seal broke. The Death Angel form awakened. A terrifying aura exploded, signaling an era of absolute destruction. Even the white-clothed sister trembled. Mao Society realized their leader was a high-level mutant beyond their imagination. "Why must you hunt us?" she cried out. "We only wanted to survive this hellish world in peace." Her armor lay in ruins. Below, the Mao Society members roared in awe at their boss's overwhelming power. She unleashed heavenly thunder, summoning bone spikes from the earth to impale him. A desperate, final strike. "You are just dogs sent by the Academy to slaughter us," she screamed with a voice full of hate. Not Fam caught the strike effortlessly. "There's a misunderstanding. I was kicked out of that school last week. You don't know? The Academy's survival drills are a death sentence. Every year, countless students go missing. They claim resource scarcity, but it's a lie. They use students for horrific mutation experiments in the shadows. The sisters were the first successful prototypes without side effects. They were victims of the Academy's greed." DM Li Su's clone was revealed. She was the shadow leader who once ruled the Long Ho camp. She had sacrificed everything, even killing nurses, to ensure the sisters escaped that laboratory of horrors. They were nearly drowned in the river. But Tran Huyen Te pulled them from death's cold grip. They finally shared the truth. The student union played them against each other while profiting from the chaos. "Unite, and we become the Council's greatest threat. They will hunt us like prey. To those tyrants, Our lives are just expendable resources to be devoured and discarded. Remember the mutants? During a mission with Xiao Ming, we found a hidden sanctuary, an abandoned subway station. Clear the monsters, and we have a fortress for infinite growth. The Council's grip is tight on the slums, but their defenses are weak elsewhere. Suddenly, news breaks. The Student Council's executioners have breached the slums. Not Fam acts. Not Fam prepares to block the assault, but a loyal brother stops him. Dao Trao insists, as the Tsunami Corps' legendary leader, "Your life is our future." The battle erupts, but these aren't men. They are evolved mutants with terrifying power. A devastating strike pierces his chest. Dao Trao falls, but his spirit remains unbroken. Just holding on isn't enough. He decides to give them a real taste of hell. Embracing a suicide bomb, he roars, "The Tsunami Corps will never be slaves. Like for more. Don't forget to like for bear."